Devin is like a more famous Demetrius Andrade in some ways. You know, like he's very, very good, and sometimes may not get the respect because he's a disarmer, like I said yesterday, instead of a destroyer. Andre didn't have the push behind him. I think Devin has a bit more push, so he's able to kind of get into those doors, into those rooms. But he's still a disarming guy, and guys that are disarming guys instead of guys who drop bombs, they tend to get disrespected a little bit more because people it's harder to appreciate the tactical side of that. And I think guys who don't want to fight Devin will use that. They'll use that. Oh, he's bored.
When we talk about why Devin Haney doesn't get his credit or why he doesn't get the respect, we have to break it down into sections. And unfortunately, Devin Haney comes up in what we call the hater era. It's where the underachievers are perceived to be better than the people who are actually doing things. You know, it's just a sad state. You know, the losers are on top. The hoes are winning. That's just the state of things. So people are naturally more cranky, more haters, because let's face it, we have less talent out there in the world. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a conversation that needs to be had just across a broad stream of general conversation. When we talking about people, we have less talented people, you know, so therefore you got more people who are angry, jealous, and just dissatisfied with their life. And that's part of the biggest thing. The other thing is when we talk about Devin Haney and Tank fans and all that stuff and, you know, blase splee, I mean, in a nutshell, ninjas is haters, you know, always have been, always will be. You can give them money and they'll still hate, you know. I mean, just look at Floyd. It just doesn't die with these dudes. So that's something I say woven in the culture. I would say that's something that was present from the beginning, you know, just it got weaponized to a certain degree. So hating is what the fuck we do, you know, and it's shameful at the end of the day. Other than that, moving on to another part of it, is simply the true reason why he don't get the respect is, name me one successful American black fighter that they ever really gave credit to. Like I said, you could use Floyd and you could use Andre Ward. This is simple math right here. Two totally different personalities, but they claimed they didn't like Floyd because of his personality. And that was a reason to disregard his skill. Then, you know, you got somebody like Andre Ward, God-fearing man, you know, son of God, and they didn't like him either. The point is, any black fighter that's successful, he doesn't get his credit, and you don't like
Devin is like a more famous Demetrius Andrade or something.
And I can only speak from an American perspective, but everybody knows. It doesn't matter if he's this or if he's that. It doesn't matter if he looks like Tank, dressed like Tank, do this, because they dislike Tank. Every successful American boxer, you guys hate. And then you wonder why he doesn't get the hate, because you guys rather cheer on people who are not really about that. And usually the people who are not really about that are part of the Buttermilk Biscuit gang. And as you can tell, the Buttermilk Biscuit gang is deep. It's deep, downright shameful. So, you know, it's just a bunch of people insecure about where they are in life, because at the end of the day, Devin's winning. Bill's winning, and that money just adds an extra sting to it. And not only that, Devin Haney is also a mirror. He shows you what these fighters are not doing. He also shows you what these so-called promoters don't have. And that's real killers, real throwback fighters. Dudes that truly have a competitive nature is rare in boxing. Devin is one of those rarities. So of course they're going to have something to say about it, because nobody up under their camp or nobody up under their umbrella can live up to it. Now you mix all that together, that's massive hate. You know, it's massive hate. Then you add all that on top of that, which is a good old layer of good old fashioned racism or I hate black people. And there you go. But that's his formula, also success. If you hate him that much, then you hate him enough to pay to see him lose. And that's why when it comes to the Mayweather comparison, Devin Haney gets more and more close to that and more replicating that than anybody else, because I ain't seen y'all hate nobody like this. Listen, And Devin Haney's not even an asshole. Floyd was an asshole for the second part of his career. Although it's a character that he was playing, you know, Floyd was an asshole. Devin's not. Like I said, Devin barely talks, and when he does talk, you're analyzing how he talk, how he don't got no personality, and he doesn't. But that's what his father is for, you know. And y'all hate that he have a father that love him, that looks out for him, and they win. So you add that all together, and once again, you got to talk about that money. There it is. There it is. And in a hating era, in a hating culture, in an unachieving culture, in a talentless generation with no kahunas, a generation that wear purses and paint nails. Yeah, y'all hate them. Yeah. So you mix all that up in a gumbo pot, boom, you got Devin Haney. And at the end of the day, that's going to be the fuel, the platform, and all that for him to keep being successful. See, you don't win in the sport of boxing with hate. You actually empower the person that you hate if they're good, if they're successful, if they got skill. And if they got skill, y'all eat crow all day long. This is why they got to constantly lie about pound for pound. Who's this? Who's that? It's all decorated in lies. Nothing that mainstream media says can be backed up by what you're seeing in the ring, because eventually all these dudes get found out.